We don't want to create an environment where only I give you, you don't give me. We want to create a country, we want to create a relation where you give me, I give
It's
you.
a kind of give and take.
Give and take. It's a mutualistic relationship. It should not be a symbiotic relationship where only one feeds on another.
Yeah.
So that culture should be changed. And I don't blame any countries because I'm sure they are patriots. They are also working in the best interest of the country. So I would ask our leaders, our political leaders, our youth leaders to become more patriotic and to act in the best interest of this country, my Bangladesh.
Why the youths mainly are willing to go abroad always? Why they're not willing to stay in their own country?
He has selected a Bangladesh bank governor who has termed as strong banks and weak banks. If you ask me, as a guardian of banking sector, he should not have labeled this as strong and weak banks, because in the weak banks, maybe the past government people, they have siphoned off a lot of money. But in those weak banks, there are a lot of depositors, normal citizens like us, who have deposited their money. So when he terms something like that, that creates a panic in the economy. And as a guardian of the economy, this is my suggestion, obviously, you shouldn't create a panic.
Welcome to BNTV. Tonight, I'm your host, Saida Abudin. And today, we have with us none other than Barrister Tareque Akbar Khondakar, who is a leader and organizer, a very talented person. And today, we are going to talk about something very interesting, about his childhood, about his future plan, about his current plan. So let's talk. Sir, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. First of all, thanks to BNTV for organizing this event.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's start with our first question, and we will start with our childhood. I mean, your childhood, okay? So where you have been brought up?
I have been born and brought up in Chittagong. I did my GCE O-levels in Little Jewels. And later on, I did my A-levels in Dhaka Scholastica. Then finally, I went to UK. I did my LLB BA Honours from Queen Mary University of London. And then afterwards, I completed my LLM in Corporate and Commercial Law from the same university. And then I did my Barrett Law degree. And eventually, I became a lecturer at Queen Mary University of London.
Oh, nice.
In the law department for 6 months.
Okay.
So this is my education history.
So why you have just came back to our country? Like, people plan to settle in foreign and you were coming back to your country?
Basically, from my childhood, I never wanted to stay abroad. I always wanted to stay in the country because I believe in the abroad I will always be a third-class citizen, honestly speaking, because over here I'm a first-class citizen. So why should I go to another country and give my effort over there? I can contribute to the nation by working here.
That's amazing, and we are blessed. Like, we do have people like you still here.
Thank you.
Okay, and after that, like, what you were doing currently?
Basically, I returned from UK in 2013. After returning from UK, I always had a tendency to work with the youth. I started an organization, a youth-based organization, which is called Youth Voice of Bangladesh. The primary aim of this organization is youth leadership and youth awareness. We see that students are all learning from textbooks. They are going to universities, they are getting their education. But I have felt that there is something more that needs to be added in addition to education. One thing is morality, which is lacking. Another thing is thinking about the society, thinking about the country, which is also lacking. We learn education from universities, but we don't learn morality. We don't learn about the country, the society in the educational textbooks.
Correct.
So these are some things, these are some elements that I want to work on. And that's why I have started my organization.
Amazing, amazing. And I think Youth Voice of Bangladesh is very known to Bangladesh, and youth are very interested to be here, to join here. I'm very interested.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's your future plan with this platform?
Okay, let me give you a brief history about Youth Voice of Bangladesh so that you can understand where I'm going. I have started Youth Voice of Bangladesh in 2013, and till 2017, in the 5 years, I have conducted more than 250 events. And those 250 events, they were like corporate leadership events. They were like national. They were like different workshops, campaigns, and charitable events. So I have involved thousands of youths from different universities, colleges with me, all around Bangladesh, especially Chittagong, Dhaka, and London. Till 2017, I worked very hard. But after 2017, there were some direct and indirect pressures for which I couldn't start.
Okay.
As I belong from a political family, you know, in Bangladesh, the culture is everyone wants to find an agenda behind what are you working on. I was never involved in politics. I'm never a political leader. I consider myself as a youth activist.
Okay.
So from 2017 till 2025, I couldn't work because there were pressures, internal pressures. But now we have got a new Bangladesh. The students, the youths of Bangladesh have helped us.
Yeah.
Now we can express ourselves. There is no obstruction. So now I have started again the activities of Youth Voice of Bangladesh. Aside from Youth Voice of Bangladesh, I am also the managing director of Regent Group. We specialize in real estate markets in Dhaka. And also by profession, I'm a barrister.
Like all rounder, I can say. That's amazing that we are having a very talented person around us. Okay. Apart from that, I want to know, like, can your voice is counted or can be counted as an extracurricular activities?
I wouldn't say it as an extracurricular activities because when you make something as extracurricular activities, that means that it's an optional. I want to make it, I would suggest to make these kind of things compulsory for the students.
Amazing.
Because when you call it an extracurricular activities, it is an optional. Students, they might opt to choose for it, they might opt not to choose for it. But when you make it compulsory, I think the students will try to learn from it. And you know, in some countries, just for giving a relevance, in some countries, the citizens of the country, they are compulsorily forced by the government to join the army. This is because they get some trainings. This is a compulsory. So in Bangladesh, the youth also needs this kind of trainings to enhance themselves.
For the future.
For the future, because you know, like one of the biggest issues in amongst the youth is unemployment. So if you talk about unemployment, I would say unemployment is not the only issue. There are other issues. We get in my company, we get a lot of CVs, but we see that in the CV is just the education. There is no extracurricular activities. There is no leadership capacity. When we interview the people, they can't talk, they can't express themselves. They don't have critical thinking. So my organization, we are working on that sector. We try to bring the youth leadership. We try to involve the youth in critical thinking so that they can think about themselves. They can take informed decisions about their lives. This is also important, and we should not address only unemployment, we should also address these elements.
Good initiatives, very good initiatives, very nice. Okay, as you have studied in abroad, so you have seen the education system of Bangladesh. Do you think that we are actually lacking a lot of things?
Yes, definitely. The education system of Bangladesh should be changed. Obviously, I'm not an academic, but as a youth activist, I would suggest that the education system should comprise this leadership skills, different trainings for the youth, so that apart from education, they get different kinds of training. Because I have seen that in the abroad, they give focus on this kind of activities, and the youth, they are much more widely spoken. They take more informed decisions. So our textbooks should not be just focusing on that. They should also be encouraging the students to get involved in this. And one more thing, what I have seen is we have to be a true patriot. To become a true patriot, you need to include these things in the textbooks, because we want to create a culture where the youth not just think about themselves, they should think about the country, they should think about the society.
Okay, let's talk about some issues right now. So what do you think about the current interim government, like how they are doing?
Basically, if you talk about the current interim government, Professor Yunus is a world-renowned figure. He is leading the country obviously in a good way with his team of intellectual advisors. But there are shortfalls as well. I would at first appreciate that he selected a young guy, a young person in the BIDA, Bangladesh Investment Development Corporation, Mr. Ashik. Well, we have seen that recently he has been criticized about his funding issues, like the outside entrepreneurs are not bringing enough funds in the country. Well, I must speak about it because the role of BIDA is not to bring investment in the country. The role of BIDA is to make sure that if foreign investors want to invest in our country, the compliance should be very accessible and easy. Before, the compliance in BIDA was very difficult and it was a very tough and complex process. I have seen, and I'm sure Mr. Ashik, he has done a brilliant job.
Yes.
He has introduced new ways. He has made the legal complex process very easier for foreign investors. Obviously, it's not his job to bring the investment. His job is to make an environment where the investors can come easily and invest. And he has been very successful.
Yeah.
But one thing, there is a shortfall, which is obviously it is not an elected government. So an elected government means that it has come for a long-term period. This interim government is for a very short-term period. And if you are an investor, if you are a local investor or if you are a foreign investor, you are investing a lot of money. So obviously when you're investing a lot of money, then you would think about certainty. There is no certainty right now because this government can make a law right now, but that law won't last long. If the elected government comes, the law might be changed. So you as a big investor will not take this risk. So a general election is very much necessary. And I'm sure Dr. Yunus is working on this. He's a brilliant man. And some other shortfalls that I might talk about is the banking issue. You know, like he has selected a Bangladesh bank governor who has termed as strong banks and weak banks. If you ask me, as a guardian of banking sector, he should not have labeled this as strong and weak banks, because in the weak banks, maybe the past government people, they have siphoned off a lot of money. But in those weak banks, there are a lot of depositors, normal citizens like us, who have deposited their money. So when he terms something like that, that creates a panic in the economy. And as a guardian of the economy, this is my suggestion, obviously, you shouldn't create a panic. This is one thing that should be focused on.
Okay, all right. You know, we can see that if something happens to the country or anything gonna happen, people are, very much to blame other countries. So what do you say on this?
Basically, in our country, there is a culture that if you can't do anything, you just shift the blame. So one thing which I think is that every country's people are patriots. For example, if you talk about India, if you talk about Pakistan, if you talk about Bangladesh, their own citizens, they will think about their country.
Correct.
Okay, as a Bangladeshi, I will think about my country. I should give priority to my country's interest.
Absolutely.
I should act in the best interest of my country. Likewise, India, Pakistan, they would also act in the best interest of the country, because we are all patriots. It is our failure if another country comes and interferes in our matters. Because, say for example, we have a family. In our family, there is a mother, there is a father, there is a child. If the family members, they allows another person to come and interfere, then only he will interfere. Otherwise, he will not come and interfere.
Absolutely.
We can maintain a good relationship with the neighboring countries, not a hostility. Obviously, we can create a negotiation where there will be mutual trust, where there will be mutual discussion, and where there will be what do you call that? Where there will be equal benefit for each of the countries.
Exactly.
We don't want to create an environment where only I give you, you don't give me. We want to create a country, we want to create a relation where you give me, I give
It's
you.
a kind of give and take.
Give and take. It's a mutualistic relationship. It should not be a symbiotic relationship where only one feeds on another.
Yeah.
So that culture should be changed. And I don't blame any countries because I'm sure they are patriots. They are also working in the best interest of the country. So I would ask our leaders, our political leaders, our youth leaders to become more patriotic and to act in the best interest of this country, my Bangladesh.
Amazing words. Thank you. And lastly, what's your plan? I mean, I have asked that plan, but I want to know, what do you think? How Bangladesh gonna be after 5 years?
If you ask me this question, there is a lot of questions in my mind, but I will make it short. The future Bangladesh should be something where there will be rule of law. There is no rule of law right now. We have seen in the past 16 years, there was no rule of law, there was no separation of powers. The judiciary was totally compromised. So those should be made independent. And most importantly, the Constitution of Bangladesh guarantees every citizen of Bangladesh the freedom to talk.
Yeah.
I cannot stop that freedom. That freedom was obstructed in the last 16 years. So I envision a Bangladesh where each and every people from every sector, from every political parties, they can talk freely, they can give their views, there should be rule of law. And also, most importantly, there has been a generation gap. You know, right now there are different generations, Gen Z,
Yeah.
Gen Alpha, Millennials, Gen X, we classify them. So there has been a huge division in the age sector. So we have to create a positivity amongst the youth. The last 16 years, this generation have seen only negativity.
Yeah.
Blaming, corruption, killing, abduction, enforced disappearances. We don't want that anymore. We want to create a positive environment where the youths will come forward and join politics. Well, we can contribute to the economy of Bangladesh in many ways. There are people who are residing outside Bangladesh. They are contributing to the economy by sending remittances. That adds to the GDP. Locally, local businessmen, they are also working in Bangladesh. They are giving tax. If you are a job holder, you are also contributing to the GDP and the economy by giving your tax. Likewise, if you want to create a big impact in Bangladesh, if you want to create something without blaming, he is bad, this is bad, I would ask you, join politics and do something for this nation.
Yeah.
And while selecting this kind of youth leaders, there should be some criteria. He has to be very much educated. Then he has to have the organizing capacity to lead teams. And obviously, if he is from a political background, that adds to it. Because when you are from a political background, from your childhood, you see different kinds of people coming to your house and working with your dad, mom, or other people. So in your subconscious mind, you develop it automatically.
It's a kind of, influence of the environment.
Exactly. So this helps you to build yourself. And obviously, these are not the 3 criteria. There should be other criteria like morality is important, and you have to love your country.
Yes.
If you don't love your country, you are going to sell it like others. So I would say, love your country, don't sell it. You should bargain for the best interest of your country. And I'm sure the other country will also give you an honor that he is a true patriot.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the question I was about to ask, that why the youths mainly are willing to go abroad always? Why they're not willing to stay in their own country?
If you ask me, one of the major reasons is that our society is filled with junks of politicians who are not very motivating. To motivate the youths, you have to involve them in either in politics or in national decision processes. So that now the youth see the political leaders as a junk from whom they don't get any inspiration. This view should be changed. There is a youth sector who are much more very brilliant. I know they are working in UK, they are working in US, different countries. They're very brilliant. They don't want to come back to this country because all they say is the politics is corrupted. We don't want to get into this
Job.
rough atmosphere.
Okay.
So this is one of the major reason. So if we bring qualityful people in the politics, qualityful youths who think about the country, who don't talk rubbish in the media against the country, against the opposition, they create a positivity. I think more youths will be opted to join the politics.
Okay, amazing. You mean like, we need some good leaders for our future.
Obviously.
It can be youth, it can be political, it can be anyone, but we need some good leaders.
It's not necessarily that to do something for the country. It's not necessarily that you have to join politics.
Yeah.
If you have the capacity, you can form an organization and then lead the youths. Obviously, if the leader is very visionary, if the political leader is visionary, he will pick you up, because everyone wants to pick someone who is intelligent, who has the capacity to organize crowds, and who is a true patriot.
All right, thank you. No more question, and thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you.
We are really blessed to have you here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. So, my dear audience, today we are ending this amazing episode. Thank you for staying with us. Have a good day. Bye-bye.